The air inside the Cleveland Guardians clubhouse felt different that afternoon. Friday, August 1st, a date that would quietly ripple through the roster. Two lockers, side by side, stood empty. Not just any lockers. Not just any players. Emmanuel Clase, the team's dominant closer. Luis L. Ortiz, a key arm in the starting rotation. Gone. Cleared out. No jerseys. No gloves. No personal touches. No signs of a return. Just the cold stillness of uncertainty. The news came via Zach Meisel of The Athletic. A trusted voice. He confirmed what many had noticed. Their absence was no longer just temporary. It looked, and felt, like something more final. Both Clase and Ortiz had already been placed on leave. That happened back in July. But now, with their lockers cleaned out, the speculation intensified. Why now? Why August 1st? The timing, of course, was curious. Just one day after the MLB trade deadline. A time when rosters shift, players move, and franchises adjust. But this wasn't a trade. This wasn't strategy. This was scandal. A looming investigation. Major League Baseball has launched a probe into gambling activity involving both players. And the consequences? Severe. If found guilty, the result could be devastating. A lifetime ban. Not a suspension. Not a fine. A ban. An erasure from the game they've trained for their entire lives. A complete shutout from the diamond. The details remain unclear. No official statements have been made. No verdicts have been handed down. But the visuals speak volumes. An empty locker is never just an empty locker. It's a symbol, a signal, a chapter that may have already closed, even before the final word is written. Clase was a star, an all-star, the kind of pitcher who made batters flinch before the ball even left his hand. Ortiz, steady and improving, reliable when it mattered. These weren't fringe names, they were part of Cleveland's core. And now, the Guardians are left with silence in their wake. Silence, and questions. Lots of questions. What exactly did MLB find? Was it confirmed? Were bets placed? Was insider knowledge used? And perhaps most pressing, were games compromised? That's the specter that haunts this investigation. The integrity of the game. Because baseball, at its heart, is built on trust. Between teams. Between fans and players. Between statistics and reality. And nothing shatters that trust like gambling violations. Especially by those on the inside. There are rumors, of course. There always are. Whispers about bets placed on outcomes. On specific pitches. Some websites now allow bets on something as granular as a first pitch in an at-bat. Fastball or slider. Strike or ball. Fair or foul. Suddenly, the smallest decisions on the field become betting opportunities off the field. And for MLB, that's a slippery slope. One that can spiral out of control. That's why this matters. That's why this isn't just about two lockers. Or two players. It's about the game itself. About whether the sport we watch, love, and analyze is clean. Because if it's not, if that trust is broken, then everything else is meaningless. Clase and Ortiz are not the first to face scrutiny. And they likely won't be the last. But the league knows it must send a message. A strong one. Because fans don't forgive easily when it comes to the integrity of sport. If games were influenced, even in the smallest ways, it's a betrayal. A betrayal of teammates, of fans, of the game's history. The Guardians, for now, are saying little. The clubhouse has moved on, at least on the surface. There are games to play, lineups to set, pitch counts to monitor. But deep down, this lingers. This story won't go away. Quietly. Because the consequences are massive. Lives could be changed, careers ended. Reputations destroyed. And for Clase and Ortiz, the silence is loud. They haven't spoken publicly. No statements. No apologies. No denials. No explanations. Just the sound of speculation. Of fans trying to connect the dots. Of reporters digging. Of teammates wondering. What did they know? When did they know it? Were others involved? Did they think they'd get away with it? Or was it a moment of weakness? A bad decision with outsized consequences? There's another element to this story. The evolution of betting in sports. It's everywhere now. Ads during games. Apps on phones. Odds on scoreboards. The line between fan and bettor has blurred. And for players, especially young ones, that world is closer than ever. Temptation has grown. The stakes have risen. And the consequences remain severe. The league warns players every year. There are seminars, policies, and reminders. But still, here we are. Another investigation. Another pair of names under fire. And perhaps, another sad ending. Baseball has survived scandals before. Steroids, sign stealing, sticky substances. But this strikes at the very